Hello, today we'll learn how to sew the pencil skirt. Okay, the first thing you do is that you get your material, you fold it in half, and that's the first thing you do. You fold your material in half, okay? Then after that, you fold it in half again along the width. I'm folding that in half 2 times along the width, okay? The length of your skirt is from your waist to your hem. The width is where you're going to cut. The width is the part of the skirt that will go around your body. So I'm using a material that shifts a lot. That's why I am pinning the top of the material. So if you are using a material that shifts a lot, you should pin the top of your material. Then the first thing we are going to measure right now is the place we are going to cut out. This is for the hem of my skirt. So I am measuring how long my skirt will be, okay, because I haven't yet cut it out. So after measuring how long, you join the dots and use the scissors and cut it out. Good. So after you have done that, on the part of the folding that has double fold, there's a part that will have double fold. The other side has 1 fold and 2 cut edges. Okay, the part that has the double fold is the place you will not cut. That is the place we'll start doing our measurements from. So the part that has double fold is where you place your measuring tape on. The first thing we'll measure is the space for our elastic band, because we are going to use an elastic band for the skirts. So my elastic band is 1 inch. Okay, is 1 inch. So I measured 2.5 inches. Okay. Then after measuring that, the next thing I'll be measuring is my hip. Now, from that elastic band, the 2.5 inches, place your tape at the end. Place your tape at the end and start measuring your waist from there. Then after that, remember at the bottom of the place you measured your for the elastic band, at the end of that 2.5 inches, mark your waist measurements. Okay, mark your waist measurement at the end of the 2.5 inches. Then go down to the place you made your hip measurements. Your hip measurements. Mark the your hip. Mark your hip measurements. Your hip measurements divided by 4 is what you should mark there. What you marked at your waist is your waist measurement. That's the round. The round of your waist by 4. Okay. Here you're marking your hip divided by 4. Okay. Then for your hem, if you want this to be a very, very pencil-y skirt, then mark your waist measurement at your hem. Otherwise, you subtract 2 inches from your hip and mark from your hip measurement and mark it there. Okay. Then you connect. Okay. Then for your hip, you want to make a gradual curve from the waist to the hip. You want to make a gradual curve. Don't make a sharp curve or you have your skirt to have an ear. Okay, so at the top, at the very top of that waistband area, mark your waist measurement up there and then connect the two. Okay, your waist measurement should be the measurement for your waistband area. Okay, good. So this is what the curve, this is what your skirt should look like. All right, and now you cut. This is what it should look like before you cut it, and now you cut. When you finish cutting, you should have 2 pieces. you should have 2 pieces, okay? 2 pieces. So you sew along the edge of this pieces. You sew along the edge, the side seams. That's what we call it, side seams. So now I have sewn it. I used a zigzag stitch. I have sewn it. So the next thing you want to do right now is to start putting in your waistband. So normally I'll just fold the waist, but I'm doing this also for beginners. So measure from one end to the other the 2.5 inches, okay? Why I use 2.5 inches is 1 inch, 1 inch to cover the waist, then ½ inch for seam allowance for the waistband. Okay, so connect the dots. This is the 2.5 inches for the waistband. You connect the dots. Okay, do it on the other side. Connect the dots, the 2.5 inches for the waist. And then you turn over. What I am doing now is measuring the 1.5 inches from the top. Okay, you want to measure 1.5 inches from the top and now connect the dots, okay, for both sides. Okay, good, because we are going to use ½ inch for seam allowance like I told you. All right, yeah, so I want you to see this clearly. Okay, so you now fold along that 1.5 inches. All right, you fold along that 1.5 inches. I'm just doing this for people that have never done this kind of thing before. And then remember that it is 1.5 inches, so fold in ½ inch. All right, so I have finished sewing and I left a little hole at one end. This place is where I'll put in the elastic band, so I did not completely sew it closed. I left a hole at one end. All right, so if you sewed your own closed throughout, then you should open it with a seam ripper or razor. Then the elastic band, put a safety pin at one end and now force the elastic band in through that hole and try to take it round the skirt. Pin the other end of the elastic band with a safety pin to the skirt so that it doesn't get swallowed up. All right, then you now take the elastic band into the skirt with the safety pin. All right, with the safety pin leading the way. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. After I have finished doing that, like you can see, I finished doing that, the next thing you need to do is sew the 2 elastic band parts together. So I have also sewn that together. I've sewn the 2 ends of the elastic band together. So now I'm just putting everything back inside. So that's what your skirt should look like. Now what is left is to hem the end of your skirt. That's what is left, to hem the ends of your skirt. And you hem the end of your skirt by doing double folding. Okay, you do double folding and you sew along that double fold. I just want to show you the double folding I'm doing, and then you sew that double fold. All right, you sew it, you do double fold, sew, double fold, sew, and that's it.